with the addition of Northern Illinois, the Mountain West Conference is probably looking at more expansion. But where? Let's be honest, the AAC schools, they're just not in the cards today. But we're zeroing in on the Gulf Coast, where 10 Conference USA and Sun Belt schools could be the hidden gems for the Mountain West if expansion happens. I'm Professor Wild Ute, and we're going to take a data-driven approach from football history to geographic territory, and we're going to find the hidden gems of the Sun Belt and Conference USA. So here are the 10 targets. The Texas State Bobcats, who turned down the Mountain West in 2024, they're back in the analysis today. Sam Houston State, Louisiana Tech, Louisiana Monroe, University of Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns, Southern Miss, South Alabama, Troy, Jack State, and FIU, all out of Conference USA, all out of the Sun Belt here. Nobody else in the ACC, AAC, or anywhere else, just those candidates. We're looking at Mountain West expansion targets based on the data, and let's get into the data. Football viewership with a strong 30% weight because it's one of the most significant drivers in conference realignment, especially at the G6 level. Now let's look at the last 4 years, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. The average Nielsen rated viewership of all the 10 subjects, the targets we're looking at today, it's broken out before you. Number one, and a strong number one, is Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns, with 125,000 Nielsen rated viewers per week per game. Troy shows out number two, significantly below at around 45,000. South Alabama at 41,000, Texas State at 41,000, and so on, with Louisiana Monroe reporting roughly 4,000 Nielsen rated viewers per week per game. We'll give a disclaimer, folks. If the game is not on a Nielsen rated channel, so if the game is on ESPN Plus or CBS Sports Network, for example, then it's not going to get a rating at all. And so those games get such low ratings, they're really immaterial and insignificant. We're taking a 4-year look on average viewership to wash out a lot of the outliers here. And Louisiana showed out strongest over the 4 years in average Nielsen rated football viewership. 30% of the model, a big one. Football history based on Winsipedia Blue Blood rank. Now, if you guys have not checked out the Winsipedia Blue Blood rank, it's phenomenal. I'm going to include a link in the description below. Check it out. Go look at your favorite team. It factors in 10 to 12 different attributes, such as bowl percentage, all-time wins, weeks at number one, your All-Americans. It has a lot of different attributes it factors in, and it tells you who's the strongest football brands ever. And you're looking here that Louisiana Tech, out of all these different target schools, has the strongest football history of anybody. So Louisiana Tech, with a 57 rating, according to Winsipedia, is first, tops, followed by Southern Miss. Not surprising there with the Brett Favre era and stuff. Some dang good football teams in the historical past. Then Troy, Jack State, Louisiana, Sam Houston State, Texas State at 7, Monroe, South Alabama, and FIU really towards the bottom tier of the list for Winsipedia average ranking. So huge weight again. Football history matters. Football success. What kind of football brand are we talking about? 25% weight in the overall model. Let's move on. We've seen this, but check it out, guys. Look how spread out these targets are from the Mountain West. So NIU is a brand new add to the Mountain West. It's a football-only member. And you can see how geographically far away they are from the likes of San Jose State, UNLV, Nevada. Well, you can see the X marks the spot behind the UNLV logo. Look, South Nevada. And that is the geographic center point of the Mountain West Conference. So when you're looking at all the Mountain West schools combined with NIU, that is really the midpoint. Now, looking at these target schools in the Sun Belt and Conference USA, they're quite far. And the next attribute to the model is really trying to get an approximation of travel distance, travel costs, travel strain. The farther you are away from that midpoint of the Mountain West, the less desirable candidate you are because of more travel for your school and for Mountain West schools too. So let's take a look at it. Geographic proximity here. So Texas State, out of all these target schools that we're looking at, is the closest. The campus of Texas State is closest based on latitude and longitude geography. And then Sam Houston State, no surprise, they're in the state of Texas also, is the second closest, and so on. And you're looking dead last at FIU in Florida and Miami. Yeah, that's far away, folks. And Troy, second farthest too. So the model's deducting points the farther away you are from the geographic center of the Mountain West because you're adding travel costs for everybody and the strains that come along with that. So Texas State scores high in that attribute. Next, let's look at social media brand. How many followers does your school have on X, formerly known as Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram? We're looking at football and men's basketball. Combined, all of your combined follower count in those two areas, football, basketball, across the three social media platforms, to get an idea how strong the brands are. And Southern Miss scores number one with roughly 184,000 followers across those social media channels. And Texas State is right on their tail too. Troy's third with Louisiana fourth. And last on this list is Sam Houston State. But this gives a real good indication of how strong your brand is and how many people are wanting to associate with your school, whether that be students, alums, fans. And look, Southern Miss, Texas State, and Troy, Louisiana, they've got good brands. And that's evidence of it too, right here. So 15% weight in the overall model, pretty significant, but we're getting to lesser weights as we go along. And then we'll get to the overall and put it in tiers to see who the best dang candidates are out of these 10 schools for the Mountain West. Here's one, the estimated exit fees for both Conference USA and the Sun Belt. This is relevant. None of these schools that we're talking about today make a lot of money in media rights or just really produce a lot of athletic revenue in general. So any $1 million exit fee, multi-million-dollar exit fee is going to be significant for them, and perhaps even the Mountain West who might share in the expense. So the lower the exit fee, the better. And that's what you're seeing here. So these exit fee ranges for all the Conference USA schools, it's going to be roughly $2 million exit fee, estimated exit fee. For all the Sun Belt schools, it's going to be roughly a $5 million exit fee. These were based on articles over the last year that we'll put down in the description here that you can check out that are sourced articles that discuss the exit fees associated with both these conferences based on recent realignment events. So Conference USA is going to have around a $2 million exit fee again. Sun Belt Conference around a $5 million exit fee. The lower the better. The model's taken into that account. Although exit fees only have a 5% overall weight in the model, so not terribly significant, but a factor. And lastly, in the model, media market size. This is based on your designated market area, your DMA homes, with an adjustment. Okay, so we're looking at the DMA associated with each one of these schools, and we're going to take a good example here. Sam Houston State, their market DMA is Houston. No surprise there. Houston has a lot of television watching homes, 6,777,000 to be precise. However, Sam Houston State does not in any way, shape, or form command that market. They're not the biggest school in the market. There's a lot of teams in the market too. So there needs to be considerations. Actually, the biggest team in the Houston market that's closest to Houston that's relevant here is Texas A&M. So what's been done here is there's been an analysis going on Twitter X, looking at the social media count of Texas A&M versus Sam Houston State. Texas A&M has roughly significantly more followers than Sam Houston State. Sam Houston State is 15% of the follower count that Texas A&M has. So that is the estimated proration down for an adjusted DMA home size. So Houston market, gross value around 6,777,000 homes, but really Sam Houston State we're estimating only occupies about 15% of Houston. So we're going to give them a 15% of that 6,777,000 for an adjusted DMA homes of around 1 million. That's the idea here, folks. Some of the markets, there's no bigger team because they're smaller markets. They're not massive markets, but some like Texas State and San Antonio, University of Texas Austin occupies that market and has a strong brand. So Texas State, we're estimating only controls about 13% of the market in San Antonio for a lot less adjusted DMA households. That's the methodology used here. South Alabama, who's in Mobile, Alabama, and really very far away from Auburn and the University of Alabama, gets the whole market because they control, there's no really other geographic team that's hours and hours close to Mobile. So South Alabama is getting 100% of the market share in this case. It's a new concept, a fun concept, only 5% of the model here. This is not a significant factor. It is a factor, but 5%, folks. This is not going to drive the overall score that much, but still very interesting analysis here. Now, what is the final rankings? Who are the gyms that we're looking at? Let's break out the gym tiers. Number one, in all of these Gulf Coast schools, the hidden gem is the Louisiana Raging Cajuns. They scored by far the best out of anybody. They're in a tier themselves. A hidden gem tier for the Mountain West would be the Louisiana Raging Cajuns. Then really second is Louisiana Tech. Scored extremely well in the model, but very close to the next three schools too. So we're going to put them tier 2 in the hidden gems, with Texas State right on their tails, Troy, and believe it or not, Sam Houston State is a good potential add consideration for the Mountain West, especially if Texas State is not a play. You can swing for Texas State again, but if they're not there, then Sam Houston State's a dang good option for the Mountain West. And then we're looking at tier 3 of the hidden gems. This is getting more stretchy and everything. Southern Miss, South Alabama, and Jacksonville State. Then lastly, FIU and Louisiana Monroe are really, really stretch adds. FIU so far away. It just really doesn't make a lot of sense in a lot of ways. In fact, I would say that tier 3 or tier 4 schools, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're talking about Southern Miss, South Alabama, Jacksonville State, FIU, and Louisiana Monroe are just not the best ads for the Mountain West in general. But really a tier 1 or tier 2 school that's scoring well in the model are potential ads that you might want to consider. And Troy is an interesting one that doesn't get a lot of play. They are in the state of Alabama, but they're scoring very well in a lot of attributes here. We already know that the Mountain West wanted Texas State in 2024, and that didn't happen. Could they swing for them again? Could they get them? They want them. They're a tier 2 school. But I would say that you probably just want one Louisiana-based school, and you got to swing for the Raging Cajuns if you're the Mountain West. If they're not gettable, then you go for Louisiana Tech and consider Troy too. The analysis reveals some surprising hidden gems for Mountain West expansion from the Gulf Coast. But remember that no expansion is guaranteed, although based on this data, we've identified top targets should the Mountain West go for it. But what do you think? Which gyms do you think are the best fit for the Mountain West? Let us know in the comments. And subscribe if you want more college football news and realignment action. Class is dismissed.